Boom! Yo, what's up? People talk about finding themselves, you know? Like, oh, I need to go out. I need to find myself, you know? And I'm gonna go backpacking through Europe and find myself. I'm not gonna shout them down. I think there's something to it. I think there's something to the reality that experiences outside of the usual sphere of your influences and all those fabulous things. They're valuable for building, you know what I mean? I think that there's something to it, but I don't think it's everything, you know what I'm saying? I think we spend time and should spend time. What we do in life is we spend time defining ourselves. And the funny thing about that game is people don't realize that they're doing it on a daily basis. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes, you could say perfect, but it increases the probability that you will perform at a higher level more often, right? Because practice, in fact, what it really does is it makes permanent. How is this principle applicable to you and me? Every time you fail yourself, every time you win, every time you're brave, every time you're a coward, every time you eat the cookie, and every time you don't eat the cookie, you're practicing a behavior. You're practicing the honoring of the values that will give way to your life situation and the fruit in your life. And the more you practice, that is to say, the more you afford yourself these habits, these decisions, the more permanent these behaviors become. Therefore, you are practicing failing yourself. When you fail yourself, you are making it more permanent, more probable that you will perform at that exact level when you eat the cookie. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I mean. And also, to expand that definition, my friends, you're also finding yourself while you're discovering yourself, whilst you build yourself. I find it very rare and almost never that life does not exude this very consistent duality, right? Light implies dark, day implies night, life implies death, good implies evil. So we sit here and we need to find ourselves, but we also need to create and build ourselves. This is where the magic happens. The ingredient of deliberation and purpose and conscious decision, that's where the magic happens. I sit here and I listen to people talk about the nature versus nurture concept. And what I hate about that concept is one simple thing. It renders us powerless. It is an alibi for the weak. Whether it's nature or whether it's nurture, you cannot change what you cannot take responsibility for. Therefore, I don't subscribe to either. Nature is, when you study epigenetics and you get deep into this, you understand. Not just, I can't get away from my genes. No. You do things during the course of your life that unlock certain genes and keep other ones dormant, okay? Epigenetics, the study of what unlocks our genes. Love that stuff. All I'm trying to say to you is, because your grandma was a diabetic, it doesn't mean you're gonna be a diabetic or an alcoholic or have heart disease or die of heart shubba flubba. What's gonna happen is your choices may give you a higher propensity to experience these things, right? And so maybe if your parents, so the nature concept is nice. It briefs well. It is a factor, but it's not the factor. What I find, and then the nurture, how I was raised, who I was around, the confirmation bias and the paradigm perspective dictates your performance very often, and all of these things. That is all great. That is all fantastic. That is all a factor. But where do we really truly find the outcomes? Why do I look at that? One of my favorite memes with 3 black men. One of them is the actual criminal. One of them is the police officer. One of them is the lawyer. What's the real difference. I wasn't raised from money. I came from a third world country originally and grew up lower middle class and joined the military and went to the infantry. What changes people? What really makes a difference long term? What really makes a difference long term, and I'm gonna start ending with this, is you're the common denominator in everything you experience and everything you do in life. Nature, nurture, that's great. Those are suggestions. Decision over everything. Decision over everything. And that is why, with my closing remarks, I'll submit to you that this whole entire game, this cookie burger, is not about being a human doing, or a human wanting, or a human victiming because you're the result of nature versus nurture. No, this whole thing is the result of you being a human being. Who you're choosing to be in every single moment is who you will become. Who you're choosing to be is what you'll eat the fruit of. You want to choose to be a higher person? You might not know how, but you got to get higher quality information. You get that higher quality information, you can make higher quality decisions, and you can be human being, be a higher quality person. Don't try to find yourself. Be deliberate about also making yourself. And when you're on that path of deliberately trying to make yourself, then finding yourself, finding the version of you, the ultimate version of you, the highly transcendent, the version of you that God intended you to be, will be the organic result of that journey. Gold does not just sit on top of the ground for us to just find. Diamonds don't just pop up out of nowhere. There is a process. And what I am talking to you about is the appropriate and integral process, the unavoidable process of unearthing your potential, of unearthing the thing that you were designed to be, your butterfly, your diamond, your pearl, these things that you were supposed to develop yourself into. They come from this path, this appropriate process of transmutation and evolution called finding and creating yourself by the grace of God. Yo, visit Byron Rodgers Motivation. I know y'all got stuff to do. I guess technically it's Monday, and hopefully I see you at the symposium, but I'll for sure see you on the next video. Out.